This guy Fauci should have been gone many moons ago, but unfortunately, here we are. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about this ridiculous person by the name of Anthony Fauci and the disgusting experiments that he's been involved with. But let's back up a little bit to explain who this guy is. Now, we've all seen him on television over and over and over and over and over again, talking about the virus, talking about how if anybody goes against him, they're anti-science with this raspy voice. We know who this guy is. I have grown to hate him, keeping all the way real. He flip-flops all the time. First he said, don't wear a mask. You don't need it. It's not going to help you. Then he said, wear a mask. It'll save your life. Then he said, wear 2 masks. It's common sense. I mean, he has driven hysteria over this whole thing. And I think that the reason why he's been talking, or I guess he thinks the reason why he's talking, is to create calm and to prevent panic, but he's doing everything other than what he intends to do. Okay, there's been a lot of panic. People are crazy, wearing their mask outside in a swimming pool. The whole thing around the virus has been handled very poorly from Fauci's desk. That's just the reality of it. He has done a terrible job in his position as, I guess you would say, the virus czar. I'm not really sure what he's called. I know he's had one job since 1984, which is how long I've been living. He's been in that same job since 84. And maybe you would think they would kind of switch it up a little bit, bring some new blood in there. Maybe 70 or something year old Anthony Fauci might be a little rusty. He's not a doctor anymore, doesn't work on patients. He's become kind of a DC bureaucrat and a lawyer to a certain extent from being in DC around all these lawyers. Nope. Leave him right there. He's doing a great job. And, I forgot to mention what he does. He's a director of NIAID. That is the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. He was placed there during the HIV/AIDS crisis in the 80s. Now, did he do a good job with that? Is there a cure for that or anything of the sort right now? I don't think so. So, again, if you were placed there in the 80s for a particular purpose, and it's 37 years later and you've not accomplished that purpose, what are you even doing? I don't know, but I digress. Now, NIAID is a subgroup of NIH. And by the way, there are 27 groups in the NIH, little subgroups like NIAID. Maybe that's too many. Maybe consolidate them down a little bit, because what's Anthony Fauci doing at NIAID? Nothing really. In NIH, what are they doing? Well, a lot, but they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. So can we differentiate between what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing, and which one is more than the other? I would bet all the tea in China that they're doing more what they shouldn't be doing rather than what they should be doing. Wasting money. The NIH funded gain of function research over in Wuhan through a third party, basically. So what they did, and what Rand Paul was grilling Anthony Fauci on, which Anthony Fauci apparently lied about through his teeth, the NIH gave EcoHealth Systems a grant. EcoHealth Systems then gave money to the Wuhan lab for gain of function research on coronaviruses. So what the gain of function research does, according to definition, which I think was scrubbed from the NIH website, but anyway, they're trying to figure out ways to make the viruses more potent and more deadly. And they're trying to figure out ways to combat the more potent and deadly viruses. The lab, quote unquote, lab leak theory says that they were doing the research out there in Wuhan at the lab. And then one of these viruses that had been worked on to make it be more potent, more deadly, more dangerous, escaped the lab, infected people in Wuhan first, spread throughout parts of China, and then spread internationally. There's direct flights from Wuhan to Italy. So, of course, Italy got hit really hard, because we all know that it hit senior citizens really hard. It's a lot of seniors in Italy. It was a direct flight straight from there. So, obviously, we can kind of see where it started. Fauci is still trying to say that, oh no, it's molecularly impossible and it started from my back, all this and that. I don't believe anything he says anymore. He will say pretty much anything. And he will go back on what he says in an instant. He's a liar. He's a proven liar. We know that the NIH funded gain of function research. So Anthony Fauci's group, his organization, they did that. They are the reason why we're going through this, allegedly. So that's that. Although Anthony Fauci lied, we know the truth. Then here comes some more shady dealings from the NIAID. That's directly Anthony Fauci's group within the NIH. NIAID gave this lab in Tunisia between $375,000 and $1.8 million to conduct experiments on beagles, on dogs. And I don't want to get too graphic here because it's pretty disturbing. If you love dogs, a trigger warning. The experiment was they would put beagles, first of all, they would cut the beagles' vocal cords so they couldn't bark or yell or scream. Then they would put their heads into like this box and let these, I guess what they were, fruit flies or something like that, some kind of flies, basically eat them alive. I'm not sure what the experiment was for, why they had to do that, but that's what they did. And the reason why they did it in Tunisia and not the U.S. is because they pretty much exported morality. Because if you did an experiment like that here in the States, that wouldn't really fly. But in Tunisia, oh, it's not really a big deal. Out of sight, out of mind. It's kind of like the whole carbon thing, right? All these climate activists wanting regulations on U.S. companies. So all they do is just export a lot of the dirty jobs to China and India. So you got your China new iPhone and, you know, your iPad and your computer chips and your cars and whatnot. You have all these things. Meanwhile, rather than being produced here in the States, because of regulations and expenses, it get produced overseas in a dirty, smelly, carbon emitting factory. That's what's going on. So rather than doing the experiment here with the dogs, mutilating dogs, terrorizing dogs, you do that over in Tunisia, directly funded by NIAID. So this guy, Anthony Fauci, I mean, I don't really see the redeeming quality because, you know, some people, you could say, well, this person is good at this and good at that as far as his heart, as far as being a kind-hearted person. Where is that in Anthony Fauci? I don't really see it. All I see is a liar, a paid liar who goes on television and tells you whatever he thinks he wants you to know. He even said it. He was saying, well, we told him not to get the mask at first because we needed them for medical professionals. And like he's trying to craft a certain narrative by manipulation, which ain't nothing but lying. It's like, look, doc, if you're a doctor, bureaucrat, all you got to do is tell the truth. Don't lie. And if you say something wrong, admit it. Own up to it. Don't try to attack guys like Rand Paul, who were right from the very beginning. Because remember, Rand Paul was talking about gain of function research back, what was that, in June or July of this year? Months ago, he was saying that. Oh, it didn't happen. That's not true. Dodging the questions, giving lawyer answers. It's like, look, man, I don't got no time for you to be dodging the questions, giving these DC lawyer answers. Just be direct. Did you fund gain of function research in the Wuhan lab, directly or indirectly? You gave money to EcoHealth Systems. They gave it to China. You know where the money is going. Stop playing games. Did you fund the beagle mutilation out there in Tunisia? Yes, you did. Straight from NIAID. That's your direct department, Anthony Fauci. So, I mean, again, guys like Anthony Fauci got to be the worst people on planet Earth. Criminal charges, I think so, for the gain of function research. There needs to be some kind of accountability here, because if it's not, people like Fauci and many others just do whatever they want, and they don't really care about the consequence. They'll go on TV and lie with a straight face because they know there will be no penalty for their lies. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Anthony Fauci being proven as a liar when it comes to the gain of function research? We have a letter straight from the NIH that says that they did that. They gave money to EcoHealth Labs, EcoHealth Systems or whatever, and then they gave it to the Wuhan lab funding the virus experiments. They did that. Fauci was not telling the truth when he said that they didn't. Whatever your thoughts are on that, let me know in the comments below. How you feel about the Beagle experiment, mutilation? Whatever you think about that, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I stand. I think that Anthony Fauci is one of the worst humans in America. Terrible. And what makes it worse is that he has a cult following. It's like, why follow this guy? But you know what? I kind of understand now. I understand why you have these Jim Jones and whatnot that have killed their whole flock, but have a flock to begin with. I understand it now. People want somebody to kind of attach themselves to. They think it's charismatic or whatever it is. They want that, and their desire to want someone like that makes them completely blind to the monster that they are. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.